TikTok has a serious problem of filming strangers that's gotten even more out of control, and the popularity of Ray-Ban Meta glasses might be to blame.
She burrito! We're gonna eat this. It's me and this guy laying on the ground right here. Hello? He doesn't want to talk. He's watching TikTok.
Can we establish that that's creepy to record somebody without their consent? Especially because most of these videos are like you like flirting or like trying to catch somebody doing something wrong. At least with a phone, like you can see somebody holding the phone up to your face.
All the faces of people filmed without their consent have been covered or blurred by me, not the original creator. Filming strangers and posting it online has been around since the beginning of social media. From influencer content to Rizz videos to public pranks to making up a narrative about a random person in the background of a video, filming strangers has infiltrated just about any public or shared space. For years, people have been sharing their frustration around how normal it's become to film strangers without their consent. Today, we're going to be talking about how Ray-Ban Meta glasses has made this issue of filming strangers even worse. Starting with the woman who went to go get a Brazilian wax and noticed during the service that her waxer was wearing these camera glasses.
I had a Brazilian wax done about 3 weeks ago and it's been haunting me ever since.
If you don't know what a Brazilian wax is, they wax the private areas, everything down there.
I've been going to European Wax Center for years. Like, I'm not even kidding, maybe 8 years at this point, maybe 9 years at this point. And 3 weeks ago, I went to a location here in Manhattan, and I'm not gonna say what location, but the girl that was giving me the wax, or the esthetician, whatever you want, the waxer, she was wearing Meta glasses and I didn't notice it at first.
That's an incredibly jarring thing to notice. That's a really intimate service. I think that's probably the last place you'd expect any sort of camera, especially something that's like wearable on someone's face and something that's so discreet and not very obviously a camera.
Because we were talking so much, we had good banter, she was very nice. And then it was like maybe like halfway, like 5 minutes in or so, I'm like looking at her and I like looking at her glasses and then I'm like, are you wearing Meta glasses? And she's like, oh yeah, I am, but like they're not charged, they're not on, like I promise. But then after that, I kind of like shut down and I could not stop thinking like, could this girl be filming me right now? Like, could she be filming?
The waxer said, oh, it's not charged, but it's just kind of like, you know, how is she supposed to take her word for it? I've seen a lot of people saying that when Meta glasses are actively recording, then you can see a really bright light that shines like on the frame because the camera itself is on the frame of the glasses, and then on the other side there'll be like a really bright white light that's like blinking. And the way people talk about it, they're like, oh, it's common sense. Like if you see the light, they're filming you. If you don't see the light, then they're not filming you. But my thing is like, cameras universally look like cameras. Glasses are not universally recognized as cameras. I would bet that there's plenty of people out there that have no idea what Meta glasses are. And on top of that, I've also seen that it's really common for people to disable the light just so that people won't be able to know they're filming. They like cover it with electrical tape. You can even buy these like stealth stickers that are like specialized stickers that you can put over the light. So I think that fact alone makes it even harder to truly know whether or not somebody is actually recording you or not.
So I almost returned these Meta glasses because apparently if you cover the LED flash, it won't record anything. So depending on whether or not these were gonna work, I was gonna keep them, and they work. Check it out. I got these little covers. They have a little glass on the side, so you can still record.
They need to do Meta glasses like they do with AirTags and send an alert when someone near has them. I'm an esthetician, that's unethical. If you have prescription Meta glasses, you should have an extra pair of normal prescription glasses. That's definitely not the time or place to wear those. If you're not going to attempt to sue, I'd call corporate. I think that's totally fair. Like in a profession like that, if you want to own Meta Ray-Bans, then you absolutely need to have a normal pair of prescription glasses that you can wear whenever you're doing waxes, especially Brazilian waxes. And a common criticism that this woman who shared her story has been getting is that, well, you know, what if this was the waxer's only pair of glasses that she has or can afford? Meta glasses are by no means a cheap frame option, you guys. It's at least $300 just for the frame. Having a second pair of glasses that don't have a camera attached to them is not asking for too much, especially in a profession like waxing. Like just some cheap frames, anything else. Zenni Optical has $7 glasses if she can afford Meta glasses, then she can afford a $7 pair to wear while she waxes her clients. There's no excuse. She definitely did something wrong. This isn't being vengeful. It's literally advocating for yourself and others. Another great point that people brought up about this situation is that even if the waxer wasn't actively recording, Meta glasses, like as a product, could be hacked. These cameras have the capability to live stream, so it's not a dumb camera by any means. It connects to the internet. It even has some AI capabilities. Cameras can get hacked. Ring cameras have gotten hacked in the past. Even if the camera wasn't turned on by the user, it can get turned on if hacked. Personally, I don't think any cameras or recording devices should be allowed in areas like that. Companies like Meta and Amazon have been known to keep their devices in a passive standby mode to take information in as needed. I hope, if anything, it's really just a huge lapse of judgment on the waxer's part, even deciding to wear those glasses in a service like that, and it's not anything more malicious.
No, I'm kind of spiraling because I just saw that video of that girl who went to European Wax Center, was getting a Brazilian wax, and realized in the middle of the wax that her waxer was wearing Meta glasses. I'm thinking now that influencers probably a lot of the time when they're like doing restaurant or going try this coffee shop with me or whatever, they're probably wearing those glasses a lot of the time and not asking for consent.
What if I told you that there's a New York City influencer who's getting criticism recently for exactly that? Elizabeth Eats NYC makes TikToks going around to different restaurants in New York City, and she never films herself at all in these videos. All of them are from this POV perspective where she's interacting with customers and restaurant staff and just like other people around her on the street, and she's able to do all of that wearing Meta glasses. She's gotten criticism recently for political insensitivity, to put it lightly. And that aside, around the same time, people are also criticizing how she's using Meta glasses to film all these people and have, you know, genuine interactions with them, except these people don't know they're being filmed and they don't know they're being posted to TikTok.
Como se dice bussin'?
What?
Stop! You're bothering me. I'm just kidding. You can never bother me. Elizabeth Eats NYC doesn't want people to know what she looks like.
The truth is, I don't want you guys to know what I look like.
And so it's kind of ironic that she's filming other people without them knowing and then posting it to TikTok. Because if you're not comfortable having your own face on your page, then what makes you think that other people are comfortable having their face on your page? 1 + 1 does not equal 2 in this situation. Does it, Misu? What do you think, Miss Mies? You have something to say? Rude. She scratched my foot earlier too, trying to jump up here.
I work at a restaurant that a lot of people are excited to go to. They're excited to try it. They want to vlog their experiences, and that's fine. But what is crazy to me is the amount of people that have shoved their phone or their camera just in my face as I'm trying to do my job, and they just expect that I'm gonna be okay being part of their vlog. They don't even ask me, hey, like, do you mind if I record you? Whatever. They just expect it.
I was a server like pretty much all throughout college, and thankfully I didn't really have any situations where anyone was filming me except for this one time, but they did ask if it was okay if they filmed me for their TikTok, and they also tipped me $200 because I guess that was part of the TikTok. They like got like money from their followers to do like random acts of kindness.
I find that whole Elizabeth Eats NYC terrifying. This is a creator who like films like her genuine reactions to trying restaurants in New York City, which is fine. But once I found out she was doing it with the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, that's the that was like, no. And I find it almost ironic that she has a video. She's faceless. You don't know what she looks like. And she's like pleading people to like not post her face because she wants privacy. And
I can see how someone would get those glasses and then like film their interactions with other people and be like, well, it's more authentic this way. Yeah, because people, you know, feel at ease and they think they're just talking to you. They don't think they're being recorded to be uploaded to TikTok. And that's the thing. Like, I have taken photos like for other people for like different occasions and stuff, or even just like, you know, you're out somewhere, you're on vacation. And a lot of people that I know are just like not very comfortable in front of a camera. And so like as soon as the camera's on them, they just clam up and they're like having to like kind of talk to them, act like I'm kind of like not like, oh yeah, I'm kind of distracted and I'm not really taking the photo right now. And as soon as they kind of like loosen up and just start like laughing and talking with me, that's when I'm like, and I take a photo. Because for people that aren't very comfortable in front of cameras, like the candid photos are always the best. But I think that's absolutely true as well with like videos. It does take a lot of practice just to be comfortable like talking to a camera or knowing you're being recorded and having a conversation with someone. I think it changes things a lot. There's another newish creator Alexia.eats, who does the same style of vlog and includes asking them for consent to film them. She's so nice, I love her content. I have come across that other creator, Alexia.eats, before, and for the people that she's interacting with and having a conversation with, yes, she does let them know that she's filming.
And I'm actually recording a video. I just travel and try new foods. Do you mind being in it? Yeah. Okay. I also just want to let you know I'm recording. I like travel and do just food reviews, try new things, just travel and try new food. So I'm recording. Do you mind being in it? Okay, just want to make sure.
And initially I thought this is so much better than what elizabetheatsnyc does. But after looking at some of her other videos, there's still some shaky ground to address. Just the nature of the meta glasses where you're filming everything from your perspective in public, and especially somewhere super crowded like New York City. That would just mean that you're basically including every stranger within your line of sight into your content, even if you're not interacting with them. In different clips and videos where she's just walking around the city, the meta glasses are getting everything that she sees around her and everyone that is just like passing her on the street. These are a few different still frames from a single video. It's a pretty decent number of people who are passing and being filmed and are close enough for it to like really pick them up. Get off of here. Just being a menace again. In somewhere really crowded, especially like New York City, is it realistic to expect influencers who film using meta glasses to blur out everybody's face who's passing them or who is noticeable in the background or as they're walking by them? Or is this POV angle just the worst angle to film from in a really crowded area? I put you in air jail because you won't leave me alone. You can't walk on my desk. Misu, leave me alone.
Having meta glasses is not weird. It's really just the content that y'all choose to.
I changed my mind. I said it wasn't weird if you had the meta glasses. It was more about the content. No, if you have them in general, you're probably a weird person. I just went down a whole Elizabeth Eats NYC rabbit hole, and I've come to realize the kind of person that would buy meta glasses that wants to be able to record people without their consent is just not they're just not good people.
There's also Aiyanna. She does the New York City meta glasses style content as well, going around the city doing stuff. People love this woman. And I will say her videos are pretty entertaining. She has like a really outgoing personality. She like adopts a friend or a stranger in a lot of her videos, like off the street. In this one, she's going around to different delis, trying their chopped cheese sandwiches and rating them. She adopted a stranger, like just trying it too and coming with her to the next deli, but it's still the same thing and still the same concerns. They're like, all these people that she's passing on the street, are all of these people like very clear in the background, and as they're walking past her and stuff, do they know she's recording? Are they aware that she's filming? Are they okay with it being posted to TikTok? That's not a question that you can like confidently answer yes to. This conversation with filming strangers using meta glasses also extends to areas of TikTok content that have always relied on filming strangers, like those videos where men are like talking to women, trying to like pick them up and get their number. And I think they're called Rizz videos. I think the basis of the content itself is really slimy. To be honest, I do not like it at all. But now instead of, hey girl, what's your name? The people who decide to use meta glasses for this type of content likely don't, you know, face the same obstacles or face the same amount of resistance that they would if it were like obvious that they were filming.
I got sent a video of me being recorded through a guy's glasses, and his account is like a Rizz account. He recorded without me even knowing.
There was actually a pretty recent situation that I stumbled upon on TikTok where a woman was included in one of these Rizz videos. She was approached by one of these men. He was like super persistent, like kept pushing her. So she agreed to have a conversation with him. She gave him her number. All of this having no idea that he was filming their entire interaction using meta glasses until she saw the video on his social media account herself. So she made a storytime video talking about her experience interacting with that man.
These experiences cannot be normal, and if they are, that's concerning.
You ever realize that nobody ever knows what they look like? Nobody. The only person who knows what they look like is the women that they're talking to. When you go to their page, they'll never have a profile picture or nothing. All the videos is just the women that they talking to, but nobody know what they look like.
That's part of the problem here. People who aren't comfortable being featured in their own content take it upon themselves to decide that you're gonna be in my video. Random person on the street, I'm gonna post you to TikTok. They want to remain anonymous, but they put other people all over TikTok. Exactly. Another form of content that's always relied on filming strangers are public pranks. I don't like this type of content either. I don't consider most of these videos as actual pranks because most of the time it just includes people going to stores and bothering retail employees. It's so hilarious to make somebody else's day really, really hard. Somebody who's just at work, just trying to do their job, to film them and then put it on TikTok, right? Rude. Most of these videos historically have just like resulted in that person being kicked out of the store for filming.
Y'all can't be in here.
I ain't never been here before.
So, all right.
Hold on, relax a little bit.
No, y'all can't be in here filming.
Why are you filming in my store? That's not allowed. I'm speaking to him. Can you put your camera down?
Sir, he just has a hard time hearing, that's why.
So the people who make this like prank content who've decided to take on using meta glasses, I guess they saved themselves from that pain point because they're a lot less likely to be kicked out of the store for filming. I've seen reactions across the board when it comes to people's feelings about people filming other people in public, just in general, and then also people's attitudes towards the meta glasses that people are using to film strangers in public. The first one being the reality of the law. And lately, I've been having people from different countries tuning in, and I'm very happy to have you on my channel. I'm only talking about the United States and the legal reality that you have no reasonable expectation to privacy when you're in public, which is very true in the sense that like when you go out in public, people can see you, people can hear you. It is legal for people to get pictures and videos of what they see out in public, and one of those things could be you. In a lot of ways, that's tied to the First Amendment, but in some of these places where people are being recorded, it's not like squarely a public space. It's more like private property that like the general public is allowed to enter, like malls and stores and other businesses. And these places sometimes have no filming policies, which is why like in those public prank videos, if they caught them filming, they just get kicked out of the store. It's private property. Same thing, you know, goes for like the Brazilian wax situation. So I think that they should definitely have, you know, an update their policies to outlaw, you know, these types of camera glasses from being allowed on their property. You're also somewhat guaranteed to be on camera every time you go out in public because of doorbell cameras, CCTV, and other surveillance cameras. That's another response I see from people when it comes to like filming strangers in public, is that you're already surveilled and being recorded by surveillance stuff in public anyway. So it's like, what's the big deal? But is that the same as that footage being taken and posted online? No. Taking that footage of a stranger and posting it online, especially for a profit, like can create this like murky, somewhat gray area that either way is pretty difficult to enforce. But if anything and above all, it totally makes sense that a lot of people are not comfortable being filmed specifically by other people. There are countless examples of videos and even whole accounts around the reactions of people in the background of the video. And then, you know, like they spin a narrative of like whatever they want about him. There's that Joseph Fogg guy. He's pretty new, and basically his entire page, he's dancing to Hype Me Up by Glorilla. But in every one of these videos, he's always in a crowded place, like an airport, you know, just like doing the dance and zooming into people's reaction as he's doing this in a crowded public space. And obviously when you're watching the videos, there's like music overlaid to it so you can hear it. Usually he's wearing AirPods, so I kind of figured he's dancing in complete silence. And so people are just watching this guy like dance to no music.
I'm screaming. Hey, 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 hey.
It looks goofy. Are the people in the background of these videos party poopers because they're not hyping you up? I mean, they can't even hear the music. They just see they're in the background of someone filming themselves dancing with no music actually like audible to them. I'm personally comfortable in front of a camera, but in situations like this, I probably would look like this, like what's going on? And then as soon as I realize you're filming a TikTok dance, I'm going to move out of the way and out of the frame. Because in general, if I don't know who you are or what you're doing, I'm just gonna step aside. I don't want to be part of it.
For the record, I'm not buying those videos of you filming in public and then saying that the person in the background is a hater because they're looking at you sideways. Like whenever I see someone filming in public, I do look over to make sure I'm not in it. And yes, when I do that, I might look like this. And then you're gonna post me and call me a hater?
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just kind of an awkward situation. It's like, what are you doing? And you know, you try to leave the frame, but if somebody is just gonna like take something and say, hey, this person's being a hater, like you don't really know what anyone is ever thinking or feeling. I hate when people make assumptions about what other people think and feel. It drives me nuts. I hate when people do it to me. I hate when people do it to other people. And I think if anything, the constant possibility of being filmed by a stranger in public does subtly change our behavior. behavior in some ways. I don't think cameras and filming in public should be outlawed. There are a series of situations where filming a stranger in public is a form and act of protection. For example, the classic Karen cases we tend to see. If someone is going off on you or even accusing you of something that is so far out of the ballpark of reality and could still have very real consequences for you, it makes absolute sense to film that interaction. Keep those receipts. But I think that there is a way to film in public in general, and even when it comes to meta glasses, using those ethically. And I believe that's something that's pretty easy to do. If the entire basis of what a person is trying to film involves antagonizing and provoking strangers to get their reactions, then no, it wouldn't be easy. But otherwise, yes, easy. Film from angles where no one else is in the background. And if having some people in the background is inevitable, then take the time to blur out any faces that are shown in the background. Like sometimes, you know, you go to like a tourist attraction, you would love to be able to get some pictures or some video with nobody else in the background, but you know what, you don't own the earth and there are other people there who also want to see wherever you're at and get their pictures and videos, and it might be inevitable that there are going to be people in the background. If there's anybody in the background that's super visible in terms of like their face and stuff, just blur it. If you want to use meta glasses or other forms of getting POV footage, then make sure you're not using that in crowded areas. And again, if someone happens to end up in the background of your video, then blur them out before posting it online. If you happen to capture something substantial that involves another person and it would just be so great to post it online, ask if it's okay for them to be in your video to post to social media. If you work in fields that require handling sensitive information or anything of a private or intimate nature, like a waxing studio, that is not the time to film or even have meta glasses or any sort of camera on your person. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about day in my life content and people doing these like day in my life at work videos and how it is kind of creating this phenomenon where people are getting fired for them because they're showing way too much. So I think the balance sometimes of like what to do and what not to do, it's not something that like everybody knows and is very equipped of. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on this topic. Let me know if anything I mentioned in this video stood out to you or anything I didn't mention.